where Saskatchewan talks football. CJME's The Green Zone. Powered by Minard Steadfast Homes.
Welcome back to the Green Zone. It's Jamie and I and Glen Suitor on a Tuesday night as we recap 52-0, the drubbing at Mosaic Stadium. The Rough Riders over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the Labor Day Classic for Rider fans, the Labor Day not-so-classic for Winnipeg Blue Bomber fans. But let's continue on. Semi-final auditions here on the Green Zone. Right here, the coolest job ever. We already had Joey Swarbrick on the program. And right now, John Wilkinson. Here we go. The man, I think, made famous by our promos with "Run the ball." That was his big rant, if you remember that one. John, let's kick it off. What did you see from the Saskatchewan Roughriders on the Labor Day that you weren't seeing in the 5-game losing streak?
For the most part, I seen a lot of the players came out with a lot more passion, a lot more thrill. They were actually happy to be playing a football game by showing up just to do a job, showing up to because that's what they were being paid to do, which is one of the lines I really dislike, people saying, well, this player's being paid, that player's being paid. We all know they're being paid to play football. It's the ones that like playing football and have fun playing football that win games. It's like with Darian Durant, he was out, he was having fun. He was enjoying himself, even though he may not have hit the super stats, which you don't have to. As long as you get a win in the win column, and 52-0 is a lot of stats, no matter how you look at it. And whether it be Durant or even a couple of the receivers we had that were only have been there for a few games. You got Foster, you've got Saunders especially, and who prepared them for it? The person who I believe gets the least accolades on this team, and that's Jason Tucker. I think we have to look more to him for preparing all the receivers, not just the ones that we have there game in, game out, not just the Dresslers, not just the Getzlaffs, the ones that are flowing in basically for that game.
Glenn?
Well, let me start with a question that we asked Joey, and I'd be interested here as a fan, again, your feelings on the fans' response to a quarterback, the starting quarterback of this football team, after a 52-0 win, a beatdown of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and a game that they played almost perfect in all three phases of the game. And yet, as Jamie just read, there's some Twitter and email out there that says that he's not good enough. Your thoughts?
It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Every single or about 80% of the Rider fans' favorite player is the backup quarterback. Why it has to be, I don't know. I've spent many seasons out there, and I was one when it was Reggie Slack. I would yell out, cut some slack for sure. I didn't want him there. But as far as Darian Durant goes, I do believe he has a little bit farther to go. But for everyone to be on his case, no, he's now shown he's stepped up. He's taken a leadership role with this team, which is what he was required to do. As the quarterback, that's who they look at. The players look at the quarterback. He is their leader. And as far as I'm concerned, he has now stepped up, having a players meeting, showing them, I'm going to lead this team down, and for the very foreseeable future, he will be the leader of this team.
And it's interesting on the text message line after we read the few haters out there, we have a couple of supporters coming in. Jamie, it wouldn't matter if DD won one cup. The haters would just complain that he hasn't won every cup. That's from Jerry in Meadow Lake. Not all Rider Nation is against Darian. He's proven his worth. The D needs to start winning games instead of taking them away to win the season. So there's some support for Darian Durant coming out. But you were telling in the commercial break before you came on, you were referencing Darian Durant as a leader with your military background. It was an interesting take.
Yeah, the way I look at it is you can be appointed a leader, but leaders aren't just appointed. They have to actually step up and show their leadership role. And that's what Darian Durant has done now. I believe for 3 games he was just, as the self-appointed leader, going through the motions. Now he's realized that as the leader of this team, he had to step up and show them he's going to lead this team. And he is going to lead this team. Don't get me wrong. He is going to be the leader for at least the next 2 to 3 years and long after that. He's only 30 years old. And I'm not saying he's learning, because at that age he should have learned most of what he should know. Now he is just putting it into the actual parts of the game, and he's not trying to throw the ball to a quarter. He's actually throwing it to a much larger spot, and they're catching it.
Let's talk about the bigger picture here and move on from Darian and to a team that with such a big win, snapping a 5-game losing streak, was this because of the opponent they played, or is this more of the type of Saskatchewan Rough Rider football team you think we'll see moving forward?
Well, they're absolutely going to beat Winnipeg on Sunday. That's a no-brainer. Whether they're going to beat Montreal in Montreal, I don't know. Can they? Absolutely. If the same team shows up, they would have beat anybody on Sunday. I don't care who you brought in there. The only problem I do foresee is them getting down on themselves if they do get into a hole or happen to throw an interception or a fumble. If Durant gets down on himself, that's what I find will be his biggest problem. The team itself is definitely ready and prepared to go forward, especially with Tyrone Brackenridge. Like, where did he come from? All of a sudden, boom, blocks a punt and carries it into the end zone. It was like, plays like that just makes the fan go, that's awesome. Yes, we got to get more of this. And then you just, I don't know, I got excited a little bit. Every once in a while I tend to jump up and down on my seat like most Rider fans do, but I am definitely stoked on this team going. James Patrick almost recovering a punt. Like, if he doesn't get an illegal block and get pushed out of bounds, he gets another touchdown, and then I could have won my 57 points.
He's still upset that he just missed the Rider prognostications on John Gormley Live by a few points with the 52-point win instead of 57-point win. Still a lot of support coming in for Darian Durant now on the text message line, which is good to see, Rider Nation. Thank you for it, because too many times it's just the haters who love to hate and get their voice out there. Chris and Regina, Rider Nation is not down on Durant. We know he's elite. Most of us, especially when he runs, don't lump us all together. So, John, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the demise of the Bombers. Was that the Riders taking advantage, or was it the complete picture? I look at it, it was a great team against a really terrible team that equals 52-0, not an average team, as one person texted in.
Well, I don't believe the Winnipeg Blue Bombers played to their full potential. They are a much better team. It's like the New York Yankees beating the Toronto Blue Jays. Like, really, you don't always brag about it, but you still want the win. And Saskatchewan did prepare for that game. So it's not just Winnipeg losing, it's Saskatchewan winning. And we had a 100-yard rusher. When was the last time we had a 100-yard rusher? Like Corey Sheets. You got to look at all the other facets that went through, not just the fact that we beat and literally humiliated the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but that doesn't make them any less of a team next week. And that doesn't mean they're just going to hang out and go, oh, well, the Riders are going to beat us again.
That's John Wilkinson. He is a semifinalist on The Coolest Job Ever. Well done, John, as we have to wrap things up. The coolest job ever as we go on, of course, the coolest $10,000 trip to the Grey Cup. And, of course, right there, where you're sitting right now, is up for grabs on The Coolest Job Ever with myself and Glen Suitor. Quick, Glen, what'd you think?
John did a nice job. Both John and Joey did a nice job. That's going to be tough to beat, and they were ready and prepared. They know their football team, and now we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But good job to both guys, and way to do your homework and come prepared.
And tomorrow and Thursday, more semifinalists here on the Green Zone for the coolest job ever. Big prize up for grabs. Well done, John. Well done, Joey. You set the bar high for the next four coming through the gate here on the Green Zone on News Talk Radio.
News Talk